welcome to Let's Talk Art. Thank you for all of you for being here this week. For those of you who are new to the show, I'd just like to welcome you, and thanks so much for tuning in. So I usually tell everybody that I am virtual from North Carolina at the moment, and we're live streaming from the New Dawn Theater and AMP to Media Productions in Boca Raton, Florida. So don't be shy today. Anybody wants to call in or text, just go for it. You can also, after the show, you can also ask some questions. You can text me, email me, whatever you'd like. So many of you have been following my impression. That seems to be, well, I'm getting the impression, let's put it that way, that people are very impressed by the new medium that I'm doing. And so somebody recently said to me, give me a word, art reform. And I've already used recreated art, but I kind of like the art reform, which it sort of really explains what I'm doing. So each week we have a guest that we bring in with information in the forefront, in the art, information to the forefront. And as the show continues, we'll be able to have questions with our guest. I don't know why I'm a little nervous today. So Amy, wake up. Okay. So usually prior to the show, we would promote the guest on our media. So you could always look and see who the guest is, and maybe think of some questions that you might want to ask during the show. So let's see. Okay. So as I get to start talking about my mosaics, a lot of the art form that comes out of them are from paintings that are stored in my closet or in my garage, and I have cut them up and I transform them into new mosaics. As you can see behind me right now, I have a dog that I just finished, which I'll talk about at another show. And also last week we discussed the one on the other side of me, which is the wall. And you know, I've stored my work in so many different places. I've had 3 galleries over the years. I had one in Canada, was a co-op gallery, and one in Delray Beach, and I've had a few studios, and I had also a working studio. And you can see most of my, oh, look, they're showing my mosaics there. Very good. You can show most of my, you can see most of my art now at the Brooklyn Cafe. We have an art cafe, and hopefully one day we all get back into our normality. You can come visit and see the station, and also, you know, come into the art cafe and see what's going on in there. So, all right. So I'm gonna show you. I'm going to take you through the past week of my work. So we're going to put up number 1 today. Let's see if we could get that up there. Okay, so this is the start of my canvas, and as you can see, I drew an outline of where I want it to go. And you'll see as we go through that sometimes that's not as easy, because if you're doing this and you're going to do solid colors, like the red is so solid and you get the whole picture. But then when you start adding color, number 2, bring up the next step, then it starts to get a little wild there. And you're sitting there in front of it, you know, okay, what am I going to do with this now? And if, as I said before, if you were doing solid colors, you would probably get the movement a little bit more into the picture. But, you know, I am working right now with leftover pieces. I've gone through most of my canvases that I brought up to North Carolina. I don't know what I'll do with myself, but right now I'll come up with another idea, I'm sure. So put number 3 up. Now I'm in the middle of my storm, as I say. Okay, where is this going now? So I decided that I had a lot of solid color left. Well, it's not really solid. It's more It's more got character all through it. But I started adding on to the corners, and then I said, oh, you know what? Let me try and make a square and see where that goes. So the next one, please. Okay, so there I am. Um, and I'm getting close to whatever it's going to be. I tried to laugh about that. Oh, I have a question that just came through. What inspires you to create mosaics? Um, well, what really inspired me was the fact that um, I didn't know what to do with all these canvases, so I cut them up, and then I just started last summer. Yeah, I started just putting them down on a board, and I said, okay, this is kind of interesting. I have one other question here. Um, do you plan the mosaics? Actually, a lot of times I will be looking through a magazine just for like a little idea. And right behind me, let's see if I can put it on my screen. Yeah, right there. You can see the Tiffany lamp that I did. And I was going through a magazine and um, I saw the lamps and I said, okay, I got some cool colors, so I will just pop it in there. So that's what happened with that one. Okay, let's go to the next picture. I love when I get questions. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's the finished product at the moment. Okay, so I also have it sitting here. There it is in the corner. You can see that on the bottom of my screen. Over there, there it is. So I kind of like it. Don't have a title for it yet, but I guess maybe I can just call it Pieces of Life because there's a lot of pieces that don't really know where they're going, but they sort of say something to you. And I bordered the outside with black and um, and then I will frame this one probably because it needs to have a little more action on the sides. Oh, I have another question. Can people use anything to make mosaic? Oh, I'm sure you can. You can try different papers. And, you know, mosaics are really tiles, but, you know, going back to 12,000 years. But right now, this is a new medium for me and maybe for a lot of you. And it's just really relaxing. You can feel like you're doing a puzzle. And, you know, so I start one a week and it kind of keeps me busy. So let's see where we are now. Okay. Okay, so, oh, I have another question. These questions are keep popping in. Okay, where is this question? I just lost it. Uh, oh no, that was the last question. Okay, we're back to the screen. All right, so I just wanted to tell you guys that next week we'll be starting on Wednesdays at the same time, and look forward to seeing you. Oh, I got one more. Okay, yeah, or somebody was just saying how recreating the art is a really good thing for to take your art to the next step. So as I was saying, you know, next week will be on Wednesdays, and also I just don't know if anybody can see me, but I'm wearing my T-shirt that I have made. Okay, a little glamour shot here, and that was inspired from all the hands, and I think I have the picture. Yeah, it's right. Whoops, the other side. There it is. It's on the bottom there on my right side. And that was called We're All, We All Matter. And I've got so much reaction from it, and so many people ask me to make T-shirts. So I have the V-neck, and then I'm also ordered round necks. So you can order some if you want. If you go to amyrashevsky.com, they're right there. Um, yeah, that's a great question. Hmm. Somebody just asked another question. I guess this is really, really popping today. How can people turn their creativity into a business? Well, um, I'm just trying every way I can. I've done scarves, prints. I've done all kinds of wearable items, and now of course the T-shirts. You can come up with anything. You just got to find the right uh, place to sell them, and that brings me to my guest today. She's come to me in a very, very special way. I had put I had put an article in or an ad into my newsletter in my neighborhood. And hello, everybody from my neighborhood. Hi, guys. And I got an email or a text, I can't remember which one. And it was from Janie Reisler. And she says, I'm moving into your neighborhood and I'm an artist and she'd love to get together with me. And as we got on the phone and we spoke, and she's from Montreal, and I have so many contacts that we share, and so it's been a really great thing. And she will be on after our commercial, and really exciting stuff. She's known for teaching urban street art, and I'll tell you more about her when we come back from the commercial. So I think we are ready for a commercial, and I will not be so jittery for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I'm having a good time here, and I'm so happy everybody's here. And we'll welcome Janie soon. So we'll see you right after the commercial.
Come see Amy Reshevsky, an artist here at the gallery. She has a plethora of art styles that will indeed captivate the human spirit, mind, body, and soul. From her vibrant pieces to her most shrouded pieces, come down and see Amy Reshevsky.
Hi, welcome back. I'm going to get ready to introduce Janie. Is Janie on our screen?
Hello.
There she is. Oh,
Hi,
welcome, Janie.
Hi, everyone.
It's so fun to see you in person. Well, sort of virtually, like everybody else. So, why don't you give us a little introduction about yourself?
Okay, well,
and the talk you want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I'm in the process of relocating to South Florida, and I come into the art community with a very big scale of knowledge in all areas, especially in urban and street art. And it's really what's really happening right now in the art community. It could be, I would say, it's a political statement in many ways, because urban and street art graffiti has been around since the 50s, 60s. And I'm hopefully going to teach some seminars and workshops and give some art walking tours down the road.
That'd be terrific. And I'm sure a lot of people in the local area will tune right into this.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you'll get to meet all the great artists when I get down there.
Yeah, I can hardly wait.
Okay, so you want to give us a brief history of the founders of the street art, because people are always wondering, why, what goes into putting it up on the wall. And like I said to you once before, I mean, I saw a lot of work going up in Wynwood last year when we were able to get down there. So just go ahead and give us a little intro on that.
Wynwood is actually fascinating. I mean, it covers about 80,000 square feet of property in the Miami, before the Miami Design District. And it happens to represent probably 20 odd countries from around the world, 60 artists almost to date. And at one time, graffiti and tagging was considered illegal, and you could be arrested for, posting, putting up billboard, tagging.
We're seeing all that stuff on the bridges, right?
Yeah, so that's really illegal. They actually you can be fined, and they don't even sell spray paint to minors. You need an actual permit for a lot of what you do today. And what I've done in communities in the inner cities is I've been trying to encourage these artists that are really artists to take their graffiti art and bring it onto canvas. We work with kids in high schools because they're so talented and they're just wasting their time, you know, writing all over the city when we teach them to make a business of it. And we've really found some wonderful kids that are able to make a living now by taking them off the streets and bring them into the art schools and train them to make a living. So that's
That's
very
wonderful.
exciting.
Yeah, that is. We need more and more of that now.
Yeah, now I can talk about the founders. The founders of street art were really Keith Haring and Jean-Michel Basquiat, which
Hmm.
were they had political statements. I mean, Keith Haring came at the time of the AIDS epidemic, and a lot of his very graphic images, which I can pull up on screen, will show you how he was basically a graphic artist, a poster artist, and he set the stage for a lot of this work. And
Put
we
number
got
one
him
up so we can
also.
talk about it.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh,
Okay, so that's Keith Haring. He did a lot of posters. This one is for the American Music Festival and New York City Ballet. I mean, everybody knew his images. Everybody
right. His style.
recognizes him. And today you could even see down at the Rubel Gallery, the museum, they have some wonderful pieces of his original pieces. Of course, he died way too young, but his
Yeah,
his memory and his vision lives on.
right. That's true.
Mhm.
Want to bring another one up?
Yeah, sure. Next, please.
There we go.
Okay, so that's just another one of his, very graphic, very simple, but a bold statement, which is quite, it's quite, impressionable. People love his work because it's so simple.
Right.
And we
Very
can bring up
simple.
the next one. This is Jean-Michel Basquiat. He died very, very young, very
Really?
much graffiti. He basically took very childlike images, crayons, and scratchings, which brings it up to mixed media because he played on visions of children. But if you see here, this piece is very it's scary, but strange. It's interesting, but primitive. So, I mean, his last piece just sold, I think it's Sotheby's for $110 million.
Oh
So
my God.
these are guys that never
Lucky
really
family.
saw their success. They never saw their success, but they're very valuable today. So now we're
Hmm.
going to go on to the next one, which we're going to talk about the stars of street art. And as a matter of fact, this is
Okay.
Dane, and Dane and I are friends on Instagram. And Dane,
Oh, really?
if you want to see Dane, I mean, we were talking last night. It was so much fun. So all his images, he started off doing a lot of graphic work for Interview magazine. One of his most famous pieces was on the cover of that particular magazine. And he's a collage artist. So he does a lot of the work that he does is what I teach. So we work with spray paint, we work with collage, we work with photo transfers that I teach. We even throw in some gold leaf. I mean, he's amazing, and he tags his posters. I mean, I was in Soho not long ago in New York City, and I walked down the street and I saw his posters just right flat up on the wall in the shopping street. I think it was on Spring Street.
Wow.
So he does
Yeah,
that just to
spring. Yeah.
beautify the city. He's a great guy. He's out of Brooklyn. I love him, and like maybe one day we'll meet. So you can
Oh,
bring
that'd be
up the next.
terrific. Oh.
Okay, Mr. Brainwash. Mr. Brainwash is
Oh, Mr.
actually from
Brainwash. Yeah.
France. He plays off on Banksy, which is another street artist, but this is the girl with balloon, and everybody knows that image if you follow modern contemporary art. And this is Banksy. This is Mr. Brainwash, and he is actually living out of LA now, and many very well-known performance artists, musicians, rock stars collect his work. So he's
But do
really
they know
doing
who he
great.
is?
Absolutely. Mr. Brainwash is
Oh,
not
they do.
incognito,
No,
but we'll get to
I
that.
meant the real person underneath the brainwash.
Yeah, well, yeah, he goes by another name, but that's who he
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
next
Okay.
one, yeah. That's another piece of his work. So as you can see, very political,
Wow, yeah.
and big collage, very exciting. There's many reproductions now of his work that you can get posters and whatever, but to see it in real life is fascinating because there's so much to these pieces. There's so much iconic images. I mean, you see Mickey Mouse, you see John Lennon, you have, all kinds of really mixed messages in mixed media. So this is pretty
Beautiful.
fascinating piece too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really
And
is.
then we go to the next one.
Oh, that's the
Banksy.
little girl.
Banksy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he uses a lot of stenciling, and this image is very well known. A political guy too. Some people think he's very controversial, but art for art's sake, you have a voice. So
Right.
that's what it's about.
Right.
Then we'll go to the
Mm-hmm.
next one.
Hope.
Okay, Shepard Fairey. Everybody knows this poster from um, Obama administration. He is an amazing guy. He's from North Carolina. He
Oh,
is
yeah.
incredible. He is a graphic artist. He is a poster artist. He's a graffiti artist. He's even a fashion designer. So he
Uh-huh.
is just a wonderful, wonderful, talented guy. And I think this poster is what brought him to the forefront. And people just love his work. It's so bold. It's so strong, and
Mm-hmm.
love his work. So these are the current stars of today in street and urban art. And then, of course, because I'm from Montreal, I had to include one
Yeah.
of my favorite friends, and that will be the next one coming up. Sticky Peaches. Sticky
Oh,
Peaches
Sticky
is
Peaches. Yeah.
He's amazing. He happens to be, I chat with him a lot on Instagram too, and he is completely incognito. He attends all his vernissages and shows, and yet he wears like a mask. He doesn't want people to know who
That's
he
the one I
is.
meant before. Okay.
Yeah, and, he takes all these celebrities. I mean, he did this as a tribute to Anthony Bourdain, and
Mm-hmm.
his work is selling like crazy. He has put Montreal on the map. As a matter of fact, we do have huge mural exhibitions. We have a whole street art festival, a mural festival every summer. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this summer like everything else.
Right.
But
Right. That's because I
Sticky,
wasn't there.
yeah, Sticky is amazing. I love his work. If you see it up close, I mean, I know that some galleries are representing him in South Florida right now. I am his biggest fan. I love his work. He also combines tons of mixed media. He uses all kinds of scraps of everything. He is just amazing. And if you notice, he uses a lot of black and white, and then he does graffiti and all kinds of other pieces and parts into his into his work. And I teach a lot of his techniques. He's okay with
Oh,
that though.
good.
He just wants everybody to appreciate, love his style. And we're not copying him because everybody has freedom of expression when it comes to art.
Absolutely.
But as far as I'm concerned, he's my guy. I love
Oh,
his
that's
stuff.
terrific. Right.
Yeah,
And
he does
and
t-shirts
just
too, all kinds of things.
you also have a fashion a fashion design background too that's
Oh
involved
yeah,
with your
well,
art.
I've re-educated many times, and it's not because I like to stick around. I think I just like to take all my knowledge and put it, into one, and just to evolve. So, I started off in the fashion industry, and I was designing fashion accessories. I traveled all over the world to do my product. And
Mm-hmm.
I was always inspired by, the art world. My father was an art collector,
Oh, really?
so he brought me to Art Basel when it first started. So,
Wow.
we were newbies to
Wonderful.
that. And
Yeah, I bet.
there was always art in our house. He was always buying, all kinds of things. And I mean, there were no walls left to put up his stuff. And he was also an artist himself. And then
Nice.
from fashion, I said, you know what? Hey, like, there's something called an Apple computer, and I didn't know how to use a computer, so I applied to a graphic design program, and I got in. And yeah, I went back to school and I learned how to do everything, which brought me back to the fashion industry. And I was always teaching at night in art education, but mostly faux finishes, graphic style stuff. But I was a graphic designer also. So now I'm at the point where I want to teach again. I love it. I love to inspire
Good,
people.
good.
It's one of my most favorite things to do.
So,
And
so
I
how
love
would
working.
so how would people get in touch with you? I know if, anybody on Facebook could just put Janie Reisler in, right, and send you a message
Yeah,
if they
well,
want
you
to
can
talk.
reach me on Facebook or Instagram. I also have an Instagram page which is Mixed Media Montreal, MTL, and I'm always posting fun and exciting things. And once I settle in to South Florida, I'm going to be setting up a website and I'm going to be conducting walking tours because there's so many different pockets in the art community in South Florida, and hopefully I'll enjoy getting to know everybody and reach out
Good. Well,
and start
well, we'll make
tours.
some nice introductions for you, so you'll have no
Yeah, I can
problem.
hardly
And
wait.
yeah, and I really, really thank you for doing this today. And
Oh, it's
I
my
look
pleasure.
forward. I look forward to getting together with you face to face. Well, maybe with our masks or something. But okay, so
Yeah, right.
remember next week we're going to be on Wednesday the same time. And our
Hmm.
guest next week is Maxine Shapiro, Wolf Shapiro. That's really her real full name. And she's going to inspire us on the knowledge of selling your art. And she's a brilliant antique art and jewelry dealer. So we look forward to seeing her next week. And everybody have a great art week. And thanks so much for tuning in. And thanks to the station and Janie and everybody. So see you later. Bye.